All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We have articles that I haven't even gotten to that are up on DrudgeReport.com. Hunt and kill all white women. Facebook post deemed not hate speech, but InfoWars. More and more stories are being banned, especially when we have somebody on like Larry Klayman exposing that there is spying going on against the president and against Congress. It's been in the news for years. The CIA spying on the Senate Intelligence Committee. Now they've come out and Congressman Nunes has said, no, I've talked to the experts. And a little bird told me one of the experts might be joining us on air, but I'm going to leave it at that here in just a moment. Larry Klayman, legendary Larry Klayman. Before I go any further with the headline from Fox News, potential smoking gun showing Obama administration spied on Trump. Team sources say exactly as Trump said. So Time Magazine says is the truth dead? Only in Time Magazine. Certainly not with what we're doing and with what our guests are doing. But we had Tonto Peranto, the big hero of Benghazi, on. Then we had the former head of technical NSA on, William Billy. Now we've got Larry Klayman on, who's just so many victories against globalists. Won the big case against the NSA to help expose the stuff that was going on years ago. The only case out there where we've had a victory. So we're going to be talking to him in just a moment. First off, we're listener supported. If you don't buy the products, first off, you're crazy. We have the best high-quality toothpaste back in that's organic, fluoride-free with colloidal silver and the iodine, the tea tree, the peppermint, all of it. Super Blue, designed by my dad, a dentist and oral surgeon, and manufacturer at the biggest manufacturer in the country. You know who the name. It's somebody of Maine's. We can't contractually tell you who's our private labeling, but this has iodine, colloidal silver added to it. It's amazing. It's concentrated toothpaste as well. It doesn't have some of the fillers other toothpaste have, so it's very, very strong. We have a children's coming out. Finally, next week it'll be here. But if you sign up for auto ship, you get additional 10% off, and you know you're supporting the broadcast every month without having to think about it. Also, My Patriot Supply has been around 8 years, but they're the biggest company in the nation now when it comes to storable foods because they have the best prices, the highest quality, freshly made in Utah every day. Everybody needs storable foods, not to be in fear, but to be in charge. We're able to private label it, the exact same food, and give you 30 to 40% off, normally 10% off, but a few times a year we can give you 30 to 40% off. This is the time to get storable food. Last 25 years, it's insurance you can eat. It's available right now until Sunday at the 30 to 40% off. Still the best deal at 10% off. We have the full catalog of My Patriot right beside it. It's the same food, private labeled by us, InfoWarsLife.com. They private label at their factory, but that's how I contractually get around it. So InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. Now, first off, I want to ask the question, what do the Democrats and Republican establishment do that all ganged up on Trump and said you were never surveilled when it was in the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN? I mean, hundreds of times that I saw, probably thousands. I can't keep track of everything. 2 months ago, oh, we got intercepts of Trump and his people with the Russians, and they were doing bad stuff. Trump goes, well, that's a leak. That's illegal. They went, well, actually, you didn't do anything on those, so don't worry. He went, no, tell me more. Well, he's the president. He can get access. He learns what happened, but it's classified. He's not dumb. He's not going to come out and say it. So he lets the Democrats get more rope, saying impeach him, all this. You know, in March, they're saying none of this ever happened, but in January 20th, they're saying it did happen. Roger Stone's a Russian agent. Manafort. Hell, now this week, they said Alex Jones and Rand Paul are. Because we want to cut taxes, secure our borders, have the best military, do all these things. So, I mean, well, if that's the Ruskies, then, you know, whatever. It's a joke. So Larry Klayman joins us. I went over his whole bio. It would take too long, but everybody knows who Larry Klayman is, the amazing work he's done, founder of Judicial Watch and so much more, now has his own organization, and just time and time again is a game-changing group. We, on Sunday, via some other folks that work with us, published some things that have been out there in federal court showing that Trump was being surveilled. Klayman is separate from that. He's not involved in that. He was involved, though, getting that CIA whistleblower basically to come forward. And so he's been trying in the system for a long time to do this. And he's also the guy, again, that has won against the Supreme Court in court. So he's separate from that, but from a different angle. Newsmax.com, he also has had his articles and things published there. And, of course, you've got several websites, Larry Klayman. What's the best place for people to go read unfiltered? I guess it's freedomwatchusa.org.
Yes, thanks, Alex. freedomwatchusa.org. freedomwatchusa.org. You can find us on YouTube, Roku, all kinds of different sites. We're not as sophisticated as you are.
Yes, you are. We're trying to be sophisticated like you at Newsmax. So freedomwatchusa.org. I've kind of prefaced things. Correct where I'm wrong, whatever. Just let's get into the meat and potatoes of a classified case you're involved in that's, you know, dangerous to get into, but really is a Rosetta Stone or a skeleton key to so much.
Yes, this is important because Dennis Montgomery is really kind of the successor to Mr. Binney, who you just had on, and I take my hat off to Mr. Binney as well. I actually represented him for a while going back as a whistleblower. But Dennis Montgomery was an NSA CIA contractor, and he left the NSA and CIA with 47 hard drives, over 600 million pages of information, much of it classified. And I felt that we needed to take him to sources in government who could do something, that could listen to what he had to say, because much of it's classified. I can't see it. And we needed to put it in the right hands. So I went to a federal judge by the
Let's be clear. You had it, but you wouldn't look at it.
I didn't look at it. He had it. He had the 47 hard drives. I never took possession of it.
60 million pages. 600 million.
600 million pages. And what he told me what was on there was that there was surveillance on the Chief Justice of the United States, other justices, 156 judges, President Trump when he was a businessman, other prominent businessmen, and yours truly, much like.
And by the way, I have those Trump numbers. Those are real numbers. My numbers are real, never before given out. I mean, I've looked at the database. It's real.
Yeah, and so what we did was I went to the one person I thought I could trust in Washington at the time. You know, Obama was in control of the administration. When I would visit Washington, I almost felt like I was in, you know, in Pluto. I mean, it was just not anything that I could relate to with regard to who was in control of the government. So I went to Judge Lamberth, who made so many good decisions when I was at Judicial Watch, which I founded in the 1990s. And he then brought him in, Dennis Montgomery. He talked to Montgomery, and Montgomery told him how he had tried to go forward to Senate Intelligence Committees, House Intelligence Committees, the Inspector General of the Department of Defense, and others as a whistleblower legitimately, not like Snowden, who left for Russia, but to do it the right way. And he was basically given the back of the hand. He actually showed Judge Lambert some of these communications with these government investigatory bodies. Lambert then put me in contact with the Senate Judiciary Committee. Charles Grassley had just taken control of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Republicans had reclaimed the Senate. I met with them, but they weren't terribly responsive either. So I went back to Lambert and I said, what can we do now? And he said, well, you know what? FBI Director Comey has a good reputation for being independent, in that during the Bush administration, he actually objected to warrantless wiretaps and others against American citizens. So he says, I can put you in touch with the General Counsel of the FBI, James Baker. So Judge Lamberth and I went over to see James Baker, General Counsel, who works right underneath FBI Director Comey. And he assured me, I wanted to meet with Comey, but he said Comey's not available, but Comey's going to be supervising this. We then contacted the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia, and through an assistant U.S. Attorney, Deborah Curtis, we got immunity for Montgomery to come forward to produce his 47 hard drives and later to be interviewed under oath by FBI Special Agents Walter Giardina and William Barnett in a secure room in FBI Field Office Headquarters in Washington, D.C. This was taped. Now, that's very important because Dennis Montgomery has a brain aneurysm. He can die at any time, but this material has been recorded. 2 years later, the FBI has done nothing. I've inquired of the FBI, no response. I've gone to various agencies on the Hill, and I've asked them to inquire, nothing. Last Monday, Comey appears in front of the House Intel Committee of Chairman Nunes. He doesn't mention this investigation. I have been urging that this come out.
And he plays dumb and says there's no surveillance. That's worse than what Clapper did.
That's right. Comey was not honest. He should have revealed this. And the reality here is that the FBI has probably done some of this illegal surveillance itself, and they buried.
Sure, look at Stingray and all the rest of it.
Right. You know, they put drones over neighborhoods, just as one example, and they grab everybody's phone calls looking allegedly for one person. So, yes, they're likely implicated, and this thing's been covered up. So I wrote a letter, and you can find it on our website at freedomwatchusa.org, Alex, to Chairman Nunes and every member of the committee, Democrat and Republican, saying you must bring Montgomery in. Chairman Nunes last Monday said, come forward with information. And that's what we've done. And we've told them. And I'm
glad you said that, because I have from other sources You're one of 6 sources Nunes has, including NSA, CIA. You're an outside source that corroborated what he was already being told. He should obviously know all this, but they stonewall in the agencies. But now we have whistleblowers because it's the president. They're lying about him, so they should do this. Coming forward, and so now Nunes is thanks to you and others able to say this.
Right, and I said in the letter, please let us know by the 24th of March, which is today. Give me a response on that date. I had previously met with one of his lawyers, Alan Souza, S-O-U-Z-A, and laid it out for him what Montgomery could provide. So I'm hopeful. Now, we know this morning that Nunes has said, well, we're canceling the open hearing for next Monday, but we're hauling, he didn't use that word, but that's what's happening, is that FBI Director Comey is being hauled back in closed session. And these questions should be asked. What did you do with the Montgomery investigation? Why has it been buried? Why did we not know about this last week when you testified? Because Montgomery is the main man in many ways. You know, Binney took it up to a certain point, but Montgomery was there to 2010, 2 years into the Obama administration.
Well, all I know is we've spot checked more than 20 numbers, and this is a real database. It's totally illegal, and we know it was being used, and we know you've been on top of this trying to get people to look at it. I know you don't want to get into this because I know you like Corsi and you like Zulo and everything, but it's a separate deal. You're not involved with them. I know you're like, hey, I'm doing it this way. They did it that way. You know, you like them, they like you, but you did it separately. We did it to show the president's right. We did it. That's the way it is. But I mean, this is a big deal. The president knows. So overall, I think it's good that at least screenshots of limited stuff of the president, myself, Michael Savage, you know, we cut off the ends of the phone numbers. At least that's out there and shows how credible your report is over the years and what you've been doing behind the scenes. So I think it's kind of time to go public, you know?
Well, yeah, and we want to do it in the right way by bringing Montgomery in front of people.
But this is bigger than Snow. This is 600 million. I know why you've been, yeah.
Right, because there's so much there. And here's the reality here, is that Montgomery could die as a brain aneurysm. He needs to be interviewed immediately.
For those that don't know, that's when the artery's puffing out. It could blow anytime.
Put him under oath, okay? He's willing to come forward. He's risked his life here. He's a hero. And you know,
tell us, I mean, obviously they demonize anybody that blows the whistle, but they have no proof. I looked him up, but just a minute or two on Montgomery and why this is so important and where we think this database came from.
That's right, Dennis. People, excuse me, Alex. People have tried to destroy his credibility. That's what they've done with President Trump from these agencies. And that's what they've done with Montgomery. They had this reporter, this hack reporter, James Risen of the New York Times, you know, smear him. But that actually confirms that he is the guy that you need to talk to because he knows where the bodies are buried, no pun intended. And
sure, when somebody's getting demonized nowadays especially, you know they're the good guy.
Yeah, they're the good guys. And in terms of what happened out there in Arizona with Sheriff Arpaio, who I represented in the successful amnesty case that knocked out Obama's immigration order, Arpaio wasn't served well by his lawyers with regard to Dennis Montgomery. He somehow got dragged into that, which is why we're proceeding on a separate track. And I sympathize with Sheriff Arpaio, and he's a great man.
Yeah, I've talked to him. He's staying out of this. So
right. So this is what's important here is that people just listen to it, confirm what the FBI has in its files, get that from the FBI chairman.
Sure, but I don't want to make judgments, but tell me if you think I'm wrong. I mean, I knew they were getting info that I was being spied on. I didn't realize that it's published, all this stuff. I mean, obviously you like Corsi. What are the problems, though, with, I mean, how do you blame us? We have proof the president's being surveilled, and we've got to show people at some point. I mean, the fourth estate does have certain rights.
Well, the fourth estate has rights. Yes, it does. And we don't question that. But I'm a lawyer. Okay, so I have to go a different
I get it. You, exactly. That's it. We're journalists. We have different rules. You have rules as an officer of the court.
That's right. And I have Judge Lambert looking at this thing from the top. You know,
and I get it. If you don't enter it right, it doesn't get in. But you've been successful because you get stuff entered right, then you win.
That's right. And it's all in FBI files. So all they have to do, the White House, and I've said to the White House, bring Montgomery in, interview him with people with appropriate security clearances. The White House should bring him into the White House.
I agree. By the way, as a lawyer, what should we do? Because we only have like an index thing, but it's there. I've told people delete it, get it off. We know it's real. We checked it. I've actually ordered it deleted. That's what you should do, right?
Yes. And, you know, let them do their job. And what I would do, the listeners of this show, Alex, and you do a tremendous job and tremendous service.
No, please.
Is that they should contact the White House and tell them, bring Montgomery in a secure room with people that have security clearances. Go through this.
Well, that's what when I was weeks ago talking to Corsi, he talked to the White House, and so did I. They all know it's real. And we're like, get Montgomery in or make a press conference and then they're just like, we'll check, and I don't know what's going on, but I don't know why that hasn't happened.
Well, don't trust the intelligence agencies to give you the truth because, as Mr. Binney just said, they lie. Okay, they're covering up. You have two very corrupt people under the Obama administration that run the director of national intelligence, Clapper, who's a certified liar who lied under oath.
I was about to say, why are these people still in? Trump needs to get rid of all.
Clapper's gone. John Brennan, former CIA director,
gone.
He's ethically compromised and corrupt as well. He tried to destroy Trump in the lead up to the
inauguration. What was that? Watch your mouth?
He's a low-class individual, and Montgomery can tell you all about these people. He worked with them, okay? They're dishonest. They're corrupt. And these did Obama's bidding. And I'll tell you this. If you follow the evidence here, I'm certain that President Obama is sitting on top of this. He must have known. I'm sure he directed it.
Sure, they always direct everything. They're totally command and control. In fact, I bet it was above Obama. He didn't. I mean, who do you think? Who gave the order originally above Obama? Soros?
It had to go to Obama ultimately. Okay, I mean, you can blame it on the minions, but the buck stops on his desk. And I want to make one other point, Alex. In other countries of the world, Israel, Brazil, other countries, they hold the top executive accountable.
They do.
The president or the prime minister. We've never done that in our 240-year history. It's time that we hold the former president of the United States and other high officials accountable.
That's the one holdover from England is we make the chief executive like a king, and then we don't go after him, and we really should.
He can do no wrong. And it's about time that this investigation focused on Obama and his minions like Brennan and Clapper. And frankly, I believe the evidence will show that they should all be indicted, convicted, and frankly thrown in prison for what's been going on.
Absolutely. Using the NSA to spy on the incoming president and then lying about it. It's just crazy. Wow. freedomwatchusa.org. Amazing. Well, Larry, as this develops the next few weeks, please come back. And in the last minute or two we have, what else would you like to impart to viewers and listeners?
Well, I think there's an interesting contrast here, is that Freedom Watch is pushing as hard as we can. Okay, we're doing what we feel needs to be done. We're not afraid. We're not afraid of blackmail, coercion, or anything else. The ACLU, who brought a case at the time I brought the original cases that I won against the NSA and the government defendants, they were strong, saying, oh, this is terrible. Look at this mass surveillance because it was happening to some of their Muslim clients. But when it happens to President Trump, they're silent. So they're actually backing what the Obama people have done to try to destroy Trump. It's a disgrace.
Larry Klayman, thank you so much for your courage and all your work. It's just surreal to be involved in the middle of this. And I know you've had the one case against the NSA that won, and you were involved in so many other great movements. And now to see, you know, this whole database of surveillance over myself and so many others, it's crazy. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Alex. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.